Hello there. This is 25 in 25. Very excited to be here. First, I want to thank God who has kept me at least alive to this second edition of these yearly videos where I update on what I'm currently doing. So, I normally go through 5 topics. Are they 5? Are they 6? That's love. I have them here on this phone. Love, friends, money, and a bit of passions, right? So I'm going to go through all of them, then review what happened this year. Well, how have I improved? Have I not improved? Um, when I came to do this video, I came while watching the old video of last year to see how I thought at that time. And one thing I really noticed was there was this certainty on different things. There are things I knew and I felt like I had an idea of what I was actually doing. But if there's anything I've learned throughout the entire year to 25 is that you are never certain. Like, maybe a few people are actually, but I think most of us, if not all of us, aren't always certain of anything. There is nothing that you are for sure you are going to achieve in a given year or in a given time period or anything. Even if you are having, let's say, assurance that something is going to happen, before it happens, it has not happened. I think that's where a lot of information I got from that video. So I'll go through all of them, speed run through. Number one was love. Last year I did say that I had found a bit of love. Love, I mean like romantic relationships and stuff like that. I don't really mean like family and friends. Those ones, most of us who are a bit, if you are lucky, God gives you a good family and some good friends. If you actually have those, that's why I normally share about romantic relationships, because most of them, all of them, people have to pursue them. You have to work hard towards them. Not like something like family, where you are actually blessed with this kind of love that you don't actually have to work on. Just given to you by God. And last year was a bit certain, but what this year has also taught me is that for love is something like you can't really push. You can't really. I always thought that you can work hard towards it and be able to achieve certain things, but there's a lot of factors that actually influence like a good working romantic relationship, and I had not actually looked at that a lot last year. And for a good working relationship is that even if you try to work hard towards it, there's a lot of factors that actually have to go your way, whereby things like, for example, you have a relationship, let's say that what I had in college, but when you leave, let's say, university, I was in a different region here in Uganda. I was in the western region. Right now I'm east in the central region towards the eastern region. So all of us ended up moving to different locations. So it's really hard to keep up that long distance relationship. And you find that most of the times the relationship you actually had wasn't as you expected, wasn't really you never loved each other that much. That's the only way I can try and explain it. And I think with this, I'm truly open-minded to it going forward, whereby I'm still trying to experiment here and there, learn new things, but it's not something you can actually push hard on and you think you can actually achieve. You have to let a bit of flow help you. What do I mean is that you try your best, but sometimes the world must align itself. Stars must align. Everything must move in your direction to help you with romantic relationships. And that's why they are a bit complicated for each and every one of us. Number two is friends. So last year, since I graduated, I think most of you know, if you watch the first video, you know this, but I can try to remind you. I graduated with a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering, right? And I'm sharing about friends, right? And of course, at college, you do get these good, really good friends that you actually stay with throughout the year. But you'll find out when you leave that most of them were, can I say, situational, whereby like it was because of location. It wasn't really a solid friendship you had actually created. Still the same thing with like a romantic relationship with friends. You can have your good friend, that's true, but I think it's different for boys and girls. But for us boys, you see that a few friends that I had, they weren't that many, but a few that I had, it's really hard to keep in touch. Why? It's because since we graduated, all of us are really busy trying to pay our bills and trying to make a living. So still with the location, some of them have moved outside of the country. Some of them are in different region of the country, are in different district. Oh, so you see that still, as I shared with the romantic relationship, is that, but the good thing with friendships is that even if you don't really talk a lot, but as long as you really had that bond, when you meet once in a while or when you call, you are able to keep a few of them. But you find that 90% of people you actually talk to in a region, on 90 is even low. You find that on 100 people, I still talk to a few, 3, 4, 5 of them. Let's say on a monthly basis, not even daily, like weekly, on a monthly basis. But with the relationships also, with the friends that I've also come to learn is that you can't really be intentional with it. Whereby you can actually try, but since like making a living is a big part, jobs are a big part of our lifestyle. If someone does not do the same job as you don't spend that a lot of time sharing about how to make a living, because it covers a lot of our part. You find that it's really hard to share more frequent conversations and more good experiences. But you always try, like me personally, I always try like once in a while, like after 2-3 months, those people you know where you're close to, you try and talk to them, see how life is treating them, who has been pushed, who is still surviving, and everything like that. But you find that most of the friends you don't really talk to, everyone just disappears because of making a living, and that's something you really have to accept, whereby you don't really have to push so hard to try and keep over 100 friends you actually had, or all everyone in class, because you are really not compatible, or it's really hard, you never really had that bond in the first place. That is with friends. Then with family, I've moved in with when I graduated, I moved home to look for like a permanent job or something. I did try to do, there are other stuff I was doing online. I was trying to make money online through other methods, but what this year has been is too tough. When I really graduated there, we did finish all our money, so we had to reset. You had to reset and start over everything. So there was a lot of changes whereby I had to restart everything. This means that I never had like any single coin at the start of when I graduated. So when I did tell, let's say, my family, I shared with them, my parents, that I'm actually trying to achieve this with these kinds of methods, they couldn't really understand, if you know what I mean, because I had graduated with a good degree, right? A good course, in a good course, and I could actually get employment here and there. So they couldn't really understand me trying to pursue something whereby I didn't have like any social proof, can I say social proof, like money or things like that, to show that at least I've achieved this in what I'm going to try to pursue. So for them, their intention is always for your personal safety and for you to achieve like real independence. So what they actually try to do, I think, is for them, they try to push you as hard to actually get like a job in something you've learned, because they know that as a sure path, whereby they've done it for years, more than us, and they know like employment is a sure way to make money, and they try to push you for us such that you can actually start something. But I did get a job just recently, and there's some positives to it, whereby at least you make a living at the start. Getting a job, even if you want to pursue other stuff, it's better to have something that can bring you income as you are trying to pursue. What I don't want to lose, and is what I'm trying to maintain, but it's becoming a bit hard with time, is leaving my like things I believe will make me real money, or leaving my passions aside to actually stay in this 9 to 5 kind of life. What do I think you understand when I mean this? Is that there are things I believe I'm passionate about, and I think will make me happier, will make me more money, and make a better living for my family. But there's no social proof to actually that. They will take a bit of time. That's also something I'm trying to learn. I expected I'm going to push in a year, these things would have worked out, but it's kind of harder than always what you expect. When you are going to do something new, not even something new, something you are familiar with, it's always going to be harder. You are starting a business, you are pursuing a newer career, it's always harder than you expected. I expected to do something, to plan here and there, to add 1 and 2, 1 plus 1 and get 2, but actually pursuing a real goal is not that simple. You'll find that if you estimated to do something in 6 months, it will probably take even more than a year or even 2 years. So that's something I'm coming to terms with, and understanding how I can find the balance to keep my passions going, and to also make sure I still have a career that's able to sustain me for the start as I'm pursuing that. Still, after family, family. The good thing with family, as I said, is there is always not like with other kinds of relationships. With family, there is always that natural bond whereby you are connected forever, that you can't quit on them, you can't leave them. Even if I go, let's say I move out of the country or I move somewhere, you know that family will keep in touch with you, because they know you are connected with you with blood, and we are with you forever. I wish all other kinds of relationships were like that, whereby someone you actually, let's say romantic relationship, someone is able to stick with you. That's what happens when people get married, but still it's not actually like that. But with family, the good thing with it is, even if you quarrel, even if whatever thing you do to yourselves, family always remains family, and you can actually keep those relationships. So I wouldn't say they are easier, but relationships with the family, those ones are always, I don't know the right word to use, but they are always there. That's the word I can try to explain and come closer to what I mean. There are a lot of things that I've learned this year, and I do want to share all those as I'm finishing up the video. A few of those things, number one, there are a few things that I've learned, and I want to continue growing with them. Number one is to be patient. That's something I thought I had, but I actually didn't. Be patient with everything we are doing and be able to stick with it. What do I mean? Things like family and relationship, both of them. You have to be patient with everyone. Someone annoys you, someone does something you don't agree with, being patient with them and trying to understand them, to understand what they are trying to mean. Then still with pursuing goals, this is also something that requires patience, and I'm trying to learn, because I had these different plans, these grand plans of doing content. I do actually have a second channel where I tried to pursue that, but I only did it for I had planned to do it for 3 consecutive months, but I don't know what always happens with quitting. But you do it for a month, you don't see any results, you always end up quitting. You do something, you pursue it, if you don't see any results, you end up quitting, or you actually think that it's not for you. But most of the times it actually requires a bit of patience, whereby what you actually know is called, I saw a video on it, it's called the Dunning-Kruger effect, which is, it's like this. When you say, let's say I say I'm going to try to pursue, to learn how to make money online, let's say such a thing. When you think you are going to do that, you always think, I don't know anything, let me try to learn. You'll watch 2 or 3 YouTube videos on how to make money online. You get an idea of what they actually trying to explain, and you think that you've understood everything, and you even plan like in the next year I'm going to do this, in the next 2 months. But the truth is that the Dunning-Kruger effect is that what you actually know at the start is way lower than what is actually there. That you actually don't know anything on something you are going to do, mostly if it's new. If you are going to do if you are learning about something, the first information you learn gives you that false confidence to think that you've understood a lot of it, but you don't really know what you are doing. So it's actually going to take you more time than to learn more and to actually achieve what you want to achieve in the time that you are having. So that's the Dunning-Kruger effect, and it applies to all of us when you are trying to pursue these dreams. You have something you want to do, you try to pursue it, you think you've understood it, you plan within time, you fail to hit those goals within time, then you leave it. That's where the patience I've learned come in. That's number 1. Then number 2 is I've learned to go with the flow. That's number 2. And that's with things like romantic relationships, things like with very big decisions in my life, like getting married, or like with moving out of my parents. Because me personally, where I got a job is kind of familiar to our home, so I'm still staying with my parents. Me last year would have thought that if I have this stable income and I've got a job, I have this other side hustle I'm doing, I would move out of the house. But what I've learned, if I get a relationship, I'll try to move there. But what I've learned to do is try to let it happen. You go with the flow, because there's a lot of factors that you can't actually control. So the best thing you can do is control what you can, then move with what the world gives to you, what the world rewards to you. Those are the 2 things I've learned, is being patient and go with the flow, because what you actually think you can control, you can't really control. You can just try to live. That's all for 25 in 25. If you enjoyed the video, like, share, subscribe, and hopefully God keeps us, and we will see ourselves in the next year. Thank you.